Hey everyone, Mherex here, bringing you another video. It's that time. It's time for the daily news. So let's see if we get anything out of the bag. Nothing exciting. Let's see where to start. So, uh, nothing new in the Faction Fest. No new tasks in this one. Same ones as there were. You can see my free-to-play is progressing okay. It's got the Tech and Gunther ones done. I'm kind of working on Striker now. I don't have any of the CSS. After Striker, I'll work on Trickster, and I'll finish up with Showboat because that's my best. So save my easiest for last kind of thing. That's how I look at it. Get the worst done first. Faction contest, nothing new here. Still the same as it was, so we're all good there. Solo contest, feud prep still going on. Plenty of time there. And faction quest going there. So nothing new there. As far as tours, there are some new tours. It is the last 24 hours, so you have Expiring for the Mat is Sacred, the Gunther tour with wood shards, right? So that's Expiring. October Fist tour. It's Morgan Madness. So the CSS on this one is Alexa Bliss, Lyra Valkyria, or Julia, right? So you will be able to use any Alexa if you want, or those two for that one. So that doesn't seem too bad. There's also one more Voldemort tour today. So that brings it up to 3. I got to get started on those because they're going to be a pain in the butt. Still got 2 days and 3 days on those. So it's a long event. So I'm not panicking yet. There's so much to do yesterday. Today the CSS is Julia. And it looks like it is open, so that's cool, at least on normal. I can't see the rest on this account. And the steel cage nonsense is the same as it has been. No entourage, no straps, medals, and that stuff works, right? So, yeah. So that's new, and other than that, it's day 2 of the Stip tour. For the thingamajiggy. This is broken right now. It's supposed to be the black ticket. It hasn't updated to the black ticket. If you were in the top, whatever 2000 is or whatever, it'll update. They know they're working on it. So that one will be available to play later. Same rules, different entourage. So you have a different entourage to max today. Speed tour, make sure and get your daily speed tour done because we all know how important hype is at this point. Monday night meta. You don't forget you can refresh if you want and do it twice. I did it twice on the free to play to get the loot coins. So don't forget about that. And then this tour, they extended it out, this Stip tour. Yesterday was 24 hours. Good for them. They extended it out to the full time because you can get tickets in the faction reward milestones. So that's been extended out the full time. Giving people more opportunity and chance to get their tickets in that blitz in. So that's awesome. That's the good news. That one got extended, and that is for the Ludwig Kaiser gear. How many slots are depends on your league. Like, you can see I'm in 19th on my free-to-play in my league section, and the top 10 get it. So I'm just out of it, which is a bummer. There are Steins available, so I'll get some Steins. That's pretty cool. It goes farther as your leagues go up. I don't know how they divided the league for this Stip. Personally, don't know. But it does go up quite a bit, so that's cool. In the higher leagues, I think top 100 get the Kaiser gear, so I was just going to shout that out. Beyond that, I don't think there's anything else there. There's the one Expiring tour, which we talked about. It's feud weekend. Don't have any update on Flash Feud CSS that I'm aware of at this point. Check Discord, nothing there. They did give us a contest calendar with information for the event that's going on, but we already basically know all of it, other than the steel cage is that are coming. Drew McIntyre, the Chosen One, and Jacqueline, Miss Jacqueline are the CSS. And then the tour CSS that we don't know are looks like any Andre the Giant, Drew McIntyre, the Chosen One, any Becky Lynch, Piper Nevin, and Jacqueline, Miss Jacqueline. So, yeah, not really much of anything worth talking about there too much. So I just figured I would kind of read it out for you. So yeah, they snuck in some loot, the double combo after I did loot review yesterday, which is gone and now it's been replaced by this one. So it was a double loot with the faction one and the other one, and now we have the loot lovers 2x combo with the new loot. It's basically an elite loot, right? So double loot there. If you're gonna do it, obviously that's the way to go. It's day 2 of this if you're buying this. Same as the other day, you know. So really, it's only the new offers, and the double loot is obviously the way to go. I'm not a fan of the hype loot of buying it, right? I could see maybe why some people might think about it, like to finish off a 20 pull or something, but I don't think it's a good idea. Personally, that's up to you though. It is pulls and they are inexpensive comparatively, and that's probably for a reason. Right. So interestingly enough, it's going to be really close. Our faction is super close to this milestone with 3 chests and 8 steins. My free-to-play has an outside shot, depending how it does from the thing, of getting Lyra Valkyria at gold off of that prize. Well, I'll just kind of update you on my free-to-play progress. I'm at 123. If our faction hits one more milestone, I might get 199. It looks like we will. We're super close. If I get 199, then I can get Lyra. So cross your fingers for my free-to-play. Otherwise, the Stein's prize wall, I'm up to 3,000, which isn't terrible at all. I would like to see that keep going up, though. There's some pretty cool stuff on here for the free-to-play. Yeah, so that's that. As far as Mherex, if you're curious about his progress, he has 6,225 steins and 200 gold tankards. That faction is 1 milestone ahead of the free-to-play faction. So, you know, if I have the same luck as Mherex, then I'll be able to get Lyra. If it's slightly worse, then I'll miss. So, kind of update there. And I don't think there's been much for that I've done as far as like smash shards or that sort of thing. Yeah, it's still basically where it was-ish. So anyway, because of the new double loot, let's check out the new loot. That's the 6-star Schlager loot. Elite loot, 17 pull gives you 2 guaranteed featureds. Otherwise featured rates 2%, but you know, you got to do like 50 pulls, so you're talking like 3 megas odds of hitting one, right? So obviously you're doing these in the 17 pull guaranteed if you're doing it. Pretty strong pool, to be honest. If you were, these are pretty solid in general, right? So you're gonna do 17 and get 2 of these. Maybe the same one, but probably unlikely. There's probably a lot of worse times considering it's a double loot if you're missing the bulk of these. Ray is really good. Haku's really good. Of course, like anything else, none of these guys are particularly good without stuff, right? So just know that HLA Cena, Punk, Drew, El Grande, right? So they're all really strong, but they all need stuff to get the most out of them. And some of them have been easier to get, right? So you're always gambling on what you're going to hit, but 2 is not bad. And then on the 5 pull, you get a guaranteed super rare. Otherwise, the super rares come in at 18%. Also, the featured are gold, which is cool. So I mean, relevant, these 2 with stuff. Amazing. These 2 are amazing trainers. I mean, it's just the fact they're 6-star gold, right? The super rare, you're not probably, and 6-star silver, now you have these, but these are probably weighted way differently. You can see it's a very large pool, but it's all 6 silver and up, so it's not bad, really, when you think about it. And then the rest are just the bottom tier, which still has a lot of fairly high ones. So I think there are probably worse times that you could do a dual offer. Um, just kind of looking through this, the bottom tier is not real great, really, but it is all silvers, so they're probably fuses. Yeah, I think overall it's fine. Actually, hold on. Yeah, think it's overall it's okay. This one doesn't feed anything, the Schlager loot. So the fact that you're getting the mega of the other loot that feeds the solo contest is probably helpful. I don't think it's the worst loot. I don't think it's the best loot. The elite loots, you know, they are what they are. It's a heavier price, so more potential for awesome gain, more potential for crushing defeat. I would say typically, you know. Um, Again, these are not times I wouldn't personally. I still wouldn't. This isn't one I would pull. Um, how I look at this event, guys, is you really need to focus on what you're after and events in general, right? So, especially with spending, let me talk about this real quick. I try to have a game plan when I spend on the Mherex account, and only spend when it like for a specific reason, and then to go for said reason, right? So, like for example, um, give yourself kind of a prize wall like on Mherex, right? Since I'm a spender, I give myself like I have like two scenarios, right? Since I have two of the Frankie plates, for me, my scenario is I'd love to get my second Rainbow Crossfire and my first Haku plate, right? That's what I want to do on Mherex. So that's like 45,000 or 44,000. That's like primary plan A. If I have to fall back, I really want a Haku plate because I don't have one. I would fall back to Haku and Yellow Crossfire. I would be happy with this, but I really want the rainbow one. But this I would be happy with, right? So I have that kind of in the back of my head as I'm going through it. I haven't spent yet on Mherex, honestly. So when I look at spending, I'm trying to decide what's my best way to achieve what I want to get out of this for relatively little cost. And the first thing I do is I go to the showdown. In Mherex's league, first place is what, like 700,000? Maybe I should just go over to his account real quick because I have them both up. Let me go to the showdown. Um, okay. Oh, actually, I can do it in this one without having to switch because it shows in the rewards. All right. So if I get first on the Mherex account, I get 6 million points and 40 loot coins, right? The 6 million points is a lot. Um, if I get second, it's 4.8 million points and 21 loot pulls. And third, 4 million points and 14 loot pulls. And fourth, 3.6 and 7. So I can't imagine I won't finish top 4 trying, and I don't think generally in Showdown I don't really have to spend a ton to get a good rank. So I look at that and I think, okay, I can probably safely assume I can score like maybe 5 mil points with minimal to no spending out of Showdown between the pulls and the other stuff. Unless I get a really tough bracket, right? So, because the pulls, if you get 40 pulls at what is it, 70,000 each is 2.8 million. So the first place being 6 million points is actually like 2 sets of megas plus the mega you get. So it's like first place is like 3 megas essentially worth of points. So to me, my focus, because I have the roster to do it in Showdown and stuff, is to focus on Showdown and get first or second. Um, and that gives me a ton of rewards because I know that I'm probably getting to the gold chest, right? And then if you add 9 million points onto this, that's like 15.42 million, which gets me pretty close to this milestone, right? Plus I'll hit other bonus stuff. I'll probably get this milestone at that point, at which point I'm getting 22 bags, probably 4,000 steins ish, right? There's other places to get them too. So it puts a big hole in it, a big dent. So that's like my primary thing. That'll be the best bang for my dollar spent in this event. So, and because I'm after plates, not pulls, and that's how I look at it. So Showdown will be my first focus. And the rest of the spending, generally, I feel like I can wait till the end and see where I get, see where the faction milestones are, see what other events are on the along the way, that sort of thing. So, and all of this stuff ends towards the end. So I'm not feeling any rush to spend on Mherex, no FOMO, that kind of stuff, nor would I anyway, because there's so many variables with CSS and bonuses and all the different mini events going on that you can't accurately predict where you're going to end up. Other than I know if I do well in Showdown, I'll probably get all but the last 2 milestones or 3 for sure, and then maybe be close enough that it makes sense to go a little farther, seeing where I'm at, right? So that's kind of how I look at the event. That's how I look at spending in general. I try and have an idea of what would be worth it for me to spend, and then after that, I try and backtrack and think, okay, how much do I want? Am I willing to spend? Is it worth it to me to spend? And then if that gets me somewhere, then I'll be like, okay, I'll spend it. If not, then I try to be like, no, I won't, right? So in an event like this, now the dual pull, 99 bucks, I could be like, yeah, I could get a bunch of pulls, but honestly, I think I might have everyone in the loot or pretty close. Um, so it would be dumb to pull, right? In Mherex's case. So that's why it's hard to always say, right? If you're missing a bunch of people in the loot, that's when the loot is generally the best. If you have most of them, then it's really bad. That's a good way of looking at it as well. But the elite loot being that you get full cards, if you're missing a bunch of the featured, like pretty much all of them, then you're probably getting something new. But just because it's new doesn't mean it's good. In fact, most new cards aren't amazing without all of the stuff to play them right as well. So do keep that in mind. That's kind of why I'm so big on plates, because if you don't have the right plates, it's hard to play them, right? So I've kind of went off tangent here. I know it's the end of the news, but I just trying to, I would say always spend with a plan. If you don't have a plan for why you're spending, then it's probably not the best spend, right? Which is fine if you can afford it and you're just having fun. No judgment. But if you're somebody that really doesn't spend a lot or wants to plan it, have a reason. So, like, if you wanted most of these and you were missing most of them, then, the dual loot might not be the worst time because you're getting 2 sets of pulls for your luck. You're going to get 2.8 million points on the solo event for your pulls, this October Fist one, right? And maybe that gets you closer to where you want. Maybe you can't win Showdown. You don't have the promoters. You don't have the characters. You can't win your bracket. So you spending like $20-$30 there doesn't get you as much as it gets me, right? Like if I spend $20 or $30 in Showdown, I'm probably coming away with $200 to $300 worth of the equivalent of event points, right? That's how I look at it. So that makes sense. That's worth it to me, right? So anyway, just food for thought, guys. Let me know what you think. That's kind of how I look at spending in general and events. I do talk about the loot because I know people want to know my thoughts on it. And I try and give like a generic thought, like, like if I was missing a bunch of characters, is this one I would pull for? And this one, I don't know. Like, honestly, they've done so much good stuff, right? Like, so I could argue without stuff, like a bunch of stuff, Ilya can probably hit harder, and he's available for 99 than most of these without stuff. Now with stuff, it becomes a big different story. El Grande is super interesting, right? And then as you add stuff, a bunch of them can hit super hard. She's super useful. Indy's insane with all this stuff, right? Viscera can do very well with very little as well. Um, so yeah, I mean, like, Punk can do some stuff with the unblockable without a ton. And Drew can do okay with a reinforced set without a ton. And Haku's okay, I guess, without a ton. It's just kind of what you're looking for, but just know that always just getting the new character is sometimes that's not really enough, if that makes sense. When you get to a certain point with your roster, new characters really don't do anything for you. It's the characters that you can build out fully and maximize their potential that end up being your best ones, usually, if that makes sense, right? Now, and now you're adding hype to that mix too. So, like, you know, basically anytime I get somebody new, I'm like, do I have hype for them? If no, then I'm like, I can't really use them right now. Unfortunately, hype has ended up restricting rosters more and more massively than ever before, and they really need to do some kind of like favoriting or giving us more opportunities for hype or more wild card or something, because you just simply can't. Um, there's only so much you can do, right? So yeah. 225 from that bag. I was hoping it was the other one that we just maxed, and I would see if I would get Lyra on video. Anyway, guys, very, very interested in your thoughts. Tell me what you think. I'm always trying to tailor these better for you guys as well when I'm breaking down loots and stuff. So yeah, your feedback is important. Let me know what you think. Let me know if what I say makes sense, if you think I'm off target, or if you have questions too, or other things you'd like to see me cover in the daily news as well. So thanks for watching, guys. Have a great day, and good luck out there. That was a lot. I was talky today. Very talky. Hopefully it's useful.